Now, the absence of 3 witnesses whose affidavits the National Assembly relied on to prosecute the case against Deputy President Gachagua before senators was a subject of concern during the trial, where the legal team representing Gachagua asked the Senate to expunge the affidavits. Senior counsel Paul Mwite, in his argument, said that it was not fair to admit affidavits containing allegations against his client which could not be tested by cross-examining the witnesses. It was an argument that was dismissed by the National Assembly legal team, which had given a list of the witnesses it intended to call for the purpose of clarifying some aspects, and it was up to Gachagua's legal team to submit a list of witnesses it intended to question.
Clerk, you may now call the first order.
Minutes after senators returned for the afternoon session, Senior Counsel Paul Mwite took to the floor of the House.
We'll proceed.
Mwite was expected to usher the Deputy President Gachagua to the stand to give his evidence. First raised concerns over the failure by the National Assembly to avail 3 witnesses: Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, Secretary to the Cabinet Wanjau, and businessman Peterson Jomo. The affidavits signed by the 3 were heavily relied on in the impeachment proceedings.
We were looking forward to cross-examining Governor Sakaja so as to bring out the truth, to assist this Honorable Senate to make a decision. If he is not being called, and in fairness to the Deputy Governor, all that we are asking is that affidavit be expunged, together with the affidavit of Peterson Jomo, who they are not calling now, and also the affidavit of Wanjau, who is not being called.
In a rejoinder, the National Assembly lawyers argued that the House had already given direction on how parties will avail the witnesses, and that all the affidavits were filed during the proceedings in the National Assembly.
I did give an indication that, number 1, at the commencement of these proceedings, any party who wanted to cross-examine any of the deponents of any of the documents had an opportunity, upon your invitation, to invite such parties to appear before them. If our counterparts appearing for His Excellency the Deputy President did not find it appropriate to call that witness at that point in time, they cannot now hold us to say that you had said you'd call this person, you will not call them.
Another concern by Mwite was that the National Assembly introduced the affidavit of businessman Peterson Jomo in Senate, yet it was not part of the proceedings in the National Assembly. In his affidavit, Jomo had claimed that he was persuaded by Gachagua to enter into an informal secret arrangement where he would purchase the Olive Gardens Hotel and later sell it to him by refunding the purchase price of 412 million shillings.
The affidavit of Peterson Jomo that was filed in the Senate, it did not form any part.
Very well,
of the National Assembly.
So then let's settle that one and we make progress.
The documents that we filed yesterday has a volume 8. That is the document that contains the affidavit of Peterson Jomo.
It is a concern that the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, and senators took note of and said senators will take into consideration.
We know how to treat evidence contained in an affidavit that is not tested at cross-examination. Even the judges you appear before in the courts that you practice in know what to do with evidence of a person who is not availing themselves for cross-examination. So, Honorable Speaker, I really don't understand what the contention is.
The National Assembly has closed its case without calling that particular witness, and yet there's an affidavit that the counsel for the Deputy President will not have an opportunity to cross-examine. The question, as you retire at the end of this hearing, is to look at the probative value of that particular document. Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, your point is valid. The senators have noted.
Governor Sakaja, who is attending the Bloomberg City Lab 2024 summit in Mexico, had in his affidavit accused the Deputy President of unlawfully interfering with the running of Nairobi City County government, while Secretary to the Cabinet Wanjau had accused Gachagua of opposing a cabinet resolution on reclaiming riparian land by evicting those residing within 30 meters of the Nairobi River. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV.